Welcome everyone, Jokon is here in Digimon Storytime Stranger. I have completed my field guide, so what else to do but talk about the Digimon that made it into the game? Talk about their design and stuff, even though I'm not really that qualified to talk about that kind of stuff, but I still want to throw down my 2 cents as it were. So why not check out what we got here? Starting with number 1, Kuramon. Debuting in the second Digimon movie, he's quite a menace, isn't he? He evolved very quickly, so you don't see much of this guy. He's rather simple. Has what, 2 ears, a bunch of spikes, and an orange eye. I like it. Pretty cool looking guy for an in training one. Rather unusual being Cyclopean, but I think considering the sort of threat that he was, I think it makes sense. And of course, there's those whole swarms in the fourth movie, but yeah, I kinda like this guy. It's pretty neat. I like him. Choromon. This is the first time I believe that he's being called Choromon outside of Japan. He kind of looks like those snow rabbits, doesn't he? You know, they pile up snow kind of like in this shape, and then they put eyes, and these are usually supposed to be leaves to make a rabbit. Although he also looks like a mouse, computer mouse, complete with the wire, which seems to be a bit chewed off or ripped or broken otherwise. Debuting in the Pendulum 5, he is a part of the Metal Empire, which makes sense. It's all mechanical Digimon, and he has a mechanical look of his own. I like him. Pretty good. Dodomon. This one is rather unusual for an in-training one, because he has a mouth. Most of them don't. This one has. Gives him a lot of personality. Now that I think about it, he kind of has the same color scheme as Kuramon, doesn't he? This sort of purple, bluish tint with the orange eyes. Yeah, kind of similar. Debuting in the Pendulum X1, I believe. So this is when the X Digimon were starting to show up. As such, this guy is a natural X carrier. But otherwise, yeah. Probably one of my favorite designs among the in-training ones just because of the mouth. Even when it's closed, the jagged line gives him quite a bit of personality. Yeah. He's also quite furry. Kinda does it better than Otamon, as we'll see in a bit. Babumon. A green slime that lets out bubbles. Very reminiscent of Dragon Quest, though this one has a pacifier and is decidedly a bit more on the cuter side. Debuted in Pendulum 1, Nature Spirits, but otherwise is just a slime. What else is there to say about this guy? I don't think there isn't much. He's decent, I think. He actually shows up in the anime, one of the few like in training ones of the main children that show up. I think. At least in a relevant sense. Yeah. Kunimon. One of the oldest ones, he's from version 2 of the original Digital Monsters. He's quite jumpy, isn't he? Kind of follows the same no mouth, 2 eyes, and not much else design. He has 3 protrusions, which I'm not sure what are they supposed to be, but they're quite jiggly. Considering that sometimes slime is equated to jelly, he kind of looks like strawberry jelly a bit. Please do not eat the Punimons though. Yeah, I like this one a lot, just because I like the color red. The big eyes they look very surprised. But yeah, I think it's one of the better ones among in-training ones. Yeah. Bodamon, the original in-training one from version 1. Black fur, yellow eyes. That's a very common trait well, not a very common, but a decently recurring trait among Digimon. Mostly the ones with the voided out faces. He is supposed to be furry, but I think the other one does a better job of showing that trait, doesn't he? Here we would just see those lines here around the face. He has a nice pair of ears though. I like him, he's decent. But not among the top, I would say. Ah yes, Poyamon, the first in training one to have a mouth. Actually pretty early, considering this is a version 3 Digimon from the original the digital monsters. Otherwise, he's kind of unremarkable. Very simple shape, no protrusions, no ears, nothing, just 2 eyes and a mouth in a white body. Not my favorite, but it's good enough. You know, Ding trainings don't need to be super complex designs. And I think he does well with its simplicity. But, yeah. I quite like him. Still. But perhaps not as much as some of the previous ones. There aren't that many in-training ones in Digimon's story. This is like the last one, 7th. There's only 7, and Cyber Sleuth only had 5, so there's only 2 new ones here. The original Digimon stories, the one on the DS, actually compressed the in-training 1 and 2 Digimon into a single level. So you would actually see stuff like Poyamon and Tokomon as separate Digimon with their own evolutionary lines. So it's not surprising that you would see less of the 1s than the 2s. Because otherwise you would get a situation like Botamon to Koramon, where it's a lot of single evolutions for the 1s. But let's talk about the in-training 2s now, starting with Caprimo from the Pendulum 5, same as the Metal... I was about to say Metal Koramon, but no, it's Choramon in this game. It is Choramon's evolution in that pet. Not featured in the anime that early though, but quite liked him. Actually, he kind of is sort of same Kuramon color scheme, doesn't he? He has the same one, right? The purple bluish fur with the orange eyes, same as Dodomon as well. But now he has a metal helmet as well, doesn't he? Quite cool looking with the horns as well. A very odd in training to think about when you consider that he's supposed to evolve into mechanical Digimon and the only thing metallic about him is the helmet, but quite like him. I'd say he's a good enough in training too, I think. His tail sways, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I like him. Koramon. Not necessarily one of my favorites. He lost his fur from Botamon. He's got red eyes, which I guess is fine, but otherwise he's just a bunch of pink jelly? He's even jelly at this point. Maybe it's a bit more solidified. Maybe there's some flesh in there, but the teeth are cool looking at least. Not my favorite, but... Oh yeah, he's also got those long ears, but... Not my favorite in training to be honest, but still a decent design. Does what it needs to do, which is be a small round ball that eventually matures into something a bit more complex later. Anemon. Our first in training with feet, being a quadruped with a rather unusual configuration. Since all 4 feet look the same, but the back feet here point backwards, which I'm not sure how that works for walking, but this one has a bit more of a floral look, being from what version? What was this one's from version 4, right? Yeah, Koramon was from version 1. This is from version 4, so quite an old one. Red eyes, pretty good. The red eyes with the green leaves, I think. Yeah, this is probably one of the better designs. And a very cool looking floral, not floral, but there's no flowers, but no, it's a vegetable. It's a living vegetable. What else can I say? Looks pretty good for what it is. One of the better ones, I think. Yeah. Tanemon, which is rather weird because isn't Tane a seed? I guess this is a seedling, I suppose. Yeah, good design. Tsunamon, a version 2 Digimon that evolves from Kunimon. Orange fur, a horn, the red eyes, same as Koromon, and just a couple teeth, doesn't need any more. I think he's he's a decent one, probably better than Koromon in my opinion, just because the horn is a bit of has a bit of an implication of a threat, right? Like, don't mess with me or else you get the horns, you know, you mess with the bull, you dash and stab and... Yeah. Yeah, probably better than Koromon in my opinion. He actually has fur now. So yeah, bottom one lost its fur, but Kunimon gained fur. That's an interesting trade-off that's happened. Yeah, I like him. He's a good one. Sumemon, the evolution of Kuramon from the movie, the second movie. He didn't spend a lot of time as Kuramon, so you see a bit more of this guy, but he also evolves pretty fast into the next stage. I quite like the feet, fingers. He looks like a hand, a very symmetrical hand, which is a bit freaky, but he's got a red eye, which is odd because I could have sworn that Kuramon and Sumemon had the same eye color of orange, but maybe they made this change to make Sumemon a bit more recognizable. You know, make sure that, you know, it's not just the fingers that differentiate him from Kuramon, it's also the eye color. Quite like him. If I remember correctly, in the movie he went through this sort of Pac-Man-like maze to eat data. That's what he did, was eating data and ruining everything for everyone. The movie was released in 1999, if I remember correctly, so you can all assume what this guy is supposed to be representative of, considering what was happening at the time. Yeah, one of the better designs, I think. Freaky stuff. If Tsunamon has a bit of a outward-looking threat, then the threat of Tokomon is a bit inner, because he looks pretty good, doesn't he? He has 4 legs. This one looks like they're good enough for walking. The back legs don't face backwards like Tanemon. He's got Koromon-looking ears, this version 3 Digimon. Cute eyes, but you can see a couple fangs in the mouth, and if you look at the top here, you can see that his mouth has a lot of teeth, which is the more hidden threat that he has. If I remember correctly, his official artwork in the Digimon reference book is technically a double feature. It features Tokomon with the mouth closed and Tokomon with the mouth open. Don't let him bite you. Yeah. As far as the naked, you know, sort of hairless babies go, he's probably one of the best just for that hidden threat potential. I like him. Don't mess with Tokomon. You'll get a nasty bite out of it. Look, it says here, bite. Dorimon, the evolution of Dodomon from the Pendulum X1. Another natural X carrier. He is rather Tokomon-ish, isn't he? Same mouth with teeth. Well, it's the same as Dodomon's, but it's another, 4 feet. This one has a tail. It looks like he could have a mean dash, doesn't he? Well, actually, he doesn't look that aerodynamic, but the ears and the tail kind of tricked me into thinking that. Quite like the pattern here. Looks like it's a multi-ended star, but it's pretty cool looking. He also looks angry all the time, which is funny. Even Tokomon doesn't do that. So yeah, probably one of the better ones. I think it's one of my favorites. I'm a bit biased towards the Doraemon line, if I'm going to be honest. So I'm always going to rate this guy super high. But not like the ratings matter. But yeah, quite like him. Look at that. Yeah. Love it. Nyaromon. This one was made for the anime, if I believe, the Digimon Adventure anime, later being featured in the Pendulum Zero, which, despite the number, was actually the last of the Pendulums until the anniversary editions. Being one of the virus busters, it evolved into protagonist Digimon and other sorts of justice Digimon. I'm not sure what I mean by justice Digimon. Righteous. They're virus busters, they bust the viruses. Nice red eyes, commonality among babies it would seem, but with a nice yellow color with some purple tips. A very simple design. Well, most of these are simple, but this one seems to take it to the next level. Just a body, couple of ears, a tail, mouth, no limbs or anything, just another head. very classic looking. Yeah, I like him. Not my favorite, but I'd say it's better than Koromon. Oh, Pagumon, the version 5 Mon. He is another very simple one, isn't he? Just the head with ears, but the ears kind of flap and almost double as arms. They look like they have fingers. Maybe they are arms. Where are the ears though then? His eyes look devilish. He's clearly not up to any good. He's plotting and scheming and rather nasty Digimon, isn't he? But I think that's what makes this a great design, because not all in training dudes have to be, this cute. I mean, he is kind of cute, but he acts all cute in front of you, but when you're not looking, he's always plotting, isn't he? Yeah, he's a good one, I think. It's a nice eye shape. Clearly communicates. He has personality. A nasty one, but it's there. Yokomon. This one is another one that was debuted in the anime, but later showed up in the Pendulum 4, the Wind Guardians, which are mostly birds, plants, which is why we have another plant in training too, similar to Tanemon. I think I like the flower here better than the leaves of Tanemon, but the feet are replaced with tentacles. A rather odd choice of locomotion here. I like the green eyes, though the lines here almost look like a target, but it's one of the better ones. I like the flower. I like the tendrils of the flower. Yeah, the blue flower is neat. I like it. One of the better ones. Bukamon. Introduced in Pendulum 2, the Deep Savers. This one evolves into a variety of aquatic Digimon. Or other marine-related Digimon, fish, sea mammals, mollusks. I'm not sure if I like this, however. I mean, he does have a very unique body shape with the tail, the arms that are, I guess, are fins in a way. The orange hair looks pretty good as well. He has some blue eyes, but the color is a bit... This sort of light brown is a bit almost grayish at points. It is not my favorite one, but I think is decent, at least as far as design goes, but yeah. Motimon, or should I say Mochimon, because he's supposed to be made out of mochi. And that's what he is. He's a big ball of mochi. Well, not a big ball, but yeah, he's pretty cool looking. Well, not cool looking, but cute. The eyes are weird though. Like, they're a little bit darker at the center, but they're not that much darker that you can distinguish it very well unless you're like looking right at them. Also arms, a very unusual trait for in-training dudes. This is Pabumon's evolution from the Pendulum 1, so he debuted rather early, but the eyes are freaking me out. I'm sorry. I'm not sure how to rate this one. I think the shape's fine. The arms are a very unique trait, but the eyes are just sending me. I think it's good, but yeah, let's just continue along with Wenyamon. Well, he's sort of similar to Nyaromon. Actually, the eye shape is... Is that the same eye shape? Kinda looks like it. But yeah, much like Nyaromon, it's a head with tail and ears. Much more furry though. He debuted where? I think it was a Digivice IC which is the Savers Digivice. It had the Digimon from all the Savers lines. Well, not all the Savers lines, the main ones anyway. Another trait that I see him on him is the M, which is actually not supposed to be an M, it's supposed to be a W, I think, as in Wanyamon. Yeah, he's a cute little cat guy. Second cute little cat guy, but I think I prefer this one over Nyaromon. I like the fur spikes and the fur spikes here as well. Yeah, looks pretty good, I think. I like him. And that's it for the in-training twos. I think I'll be releasing this as is and do the rookies for another part. So yeah. Well, thank you for watching. I'll be seeing you next time. This is Draconis out. Next will be rookies. I'll be seeing you next time.